going. It's
What kind of fucking bullshit is
Dude, he does this every week.
The bad news is that civilization is crumbling around you.
Wear a dog mask, cut your dick off, bomb Palestine.
The good news is that you are not alone.
There's butthole shaving videos.
Feel bad for the minorities in LA for having to deal with the white people in LA.
You have 5 till midnight, live every Monday at 8 p.m. where you join 5 Limp Bizkit Americans to laugh at the absurd nonsense of the end of history.
Shit show right there.
Sam, stop it!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 5 till midnight, your favorite 8 p.m. Eastern time Monday night show, where we are indeed some Limp Bizkit Americans that, will help you laugh at the
it means
end of
white.
history. Yeah. Well,
Adam's
we're some lame
thing
ass
doesn't work.
whites.
I
Yeah,
am not lame. I'm cool. You're not lame either. You opened up for the chick from Flyleaf. That's badass.
Yeah. She's
but-
like 5'2", by the way. She's very, very short. No.
Well, today we're going to talk about Snow Brown and the 7 diverse LGBTQIA plus people and the no Prince Charming because that's the patriarchy.
Hey, Keebler Delph's comment. Maybe that's what we should start calling. Yeah, Limbiscas.
It's Limbiscos. We're guys, okay? Okay, thank you, Emmanuel, for letting us try Viagra. Yeah, so Snow White, the white should be in tab. Although, you know what? Honestly, Rachel Zegler, she's white. Like, she's a Spaniard, but she's Hispanic.
Is she a Spaniard?
Well, I'm just guessing based on her phenotype. Like, she's very pale. Like, wait, what's her ethnicity? I thought she was like Hispanic. God.
I really don't know.
All right, hold on. I'm
You're
pulling
muted,
this
Adam.
up on.
What is happening? Everything was fine.
I'm pulling it up on
Started.
Wikipedia.
Last name's like Russian. Colombian. She's Colombian.
Yeah, she's
that's
from
not
New
white.
Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
from
and
New Jersey,
Polish.
though.
So her dad is Polish.
That's the Ziegler.
That's
Yeah,
the
She don't
Zegler.
look. Yeah, she don't look very Polish.
No, she looks Spanish, but not
Yeah.
Spanish as in like mestizo Spanish, but like Spaniard. Like I look at her and I'm like, that's a white person with
Yeah,
a little bit of admin.
Well,
If you pushed her eyes, if you pushed her eyes like a half inch together, she would probably be pretty hot. But like, you could almost land a plane between them two things, man. It's like bad.
She
She's
has
like
a
smaller
wide-
AOC. Those
Yeah,
big
she has
ass
like a
lips.
wide forehead. Does that make sense? Like not like
yeah,
this way, like that, like lengthwise. Like it's like a wide
Yeah,
ass forehead.
horizontal.
Well, they
Yeah,
had a wider
horizontal
forehead
forehead.
to make room for those fucking teeth.
Yeah.
The whole thing had to get wider. That's a white person, Spanish brown. Yeah. Jersey
I mean, in that
or
picture,
white in the 7 Guidos, Adam.
That's pretty good. Yeah, she does look like Snooki's. Maybe like
in that
more
picture, she
cousin.
looks like someone an Italian I used to date in Staten Island. Like in that picture.
Mhm.
But normally she doesn't look like that. She looks way darker.
I don't know. I was looking at a bunch of pictures of her because I was trying to get one that was a good contrast on the thumbnail, and she was pretty pale in all of them. But Emmanuel, who's from Germany, is saying Zegler is obviously a form of Ziegler in German. So her dad is probably actually German then, but the borders of Poland and Germany changed a bunch. So a Policized German is probably what
Poland
happened.
didn't even exist before the 20th century.
No, it existed before the 20th century, but it did not exist in the 19th century. It existed before that, and then it got conquered, eaten up because it was taking over everybody else, and then the countries around them
Oh.
took it over, and then it came back.
Mm.
But yeah, but you're right in the sense that it didn't exist at the time, but it did exist like 100 years before that,
Gotcha.
and it
That
just
makes
got
sense.
eaten.
Uh,
You get an early life
The other
check.
thing about this movie is it's obviously Snow White, right? And isn't the whole premise of Snow White like the evil witch or the evil queen is like I'm the prettiest, and the mirror's like, nah, actually, this chick is. Gal Gadot is a literal supermodel, and she was playing the evil queen, and this fucking retarded face bitch is supposed to be hotter than Gal Gadot. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And Gal Gadot also, the main villain is Israeli, which, I don't know, maybe
That's kind of funny.
Shocker.
Let's
Wait,
check out the
wasn't
IMDb
the-
score.
Oh, Gal
1.9.
Gadot is
Yeah,
an
it was-
she's an Israeli actor.
Yeah.
She's not- she's not
1.9 out of
Jewish.
10.
She's Israeli. Like, she's from Israel. She's
She was
not
the IDF.
American.
Yeah,
I
she's
feel
the
like-
IDF, right?
Like, even if this was a good movie, I think it was just going to be like trash ratings because of all the like negative press about. I mean, this negative press for this movie has been going on for like 2 years.
It's just
Bro,
not
she
Snow
got
White
casted.
though.
She
Like,
got
the
casted
story
and came
itself
out
is
and she was
Snow White.
like, vote blue. If you don't, like, unfollow me. Like, she just
Yeah.
ostracized like everybody
Well,
right
yeah,
away.
well, okay, it's kind of funny. So my
Wait a
wife and I
minute,
were
though.
talking about this a little bit earlier today, where like Alan Richson, right? And I promise this will make sense here in a minute. Alan Richson is like a certified shit lib. Like, he said some ridiculous off the wall shit about Donald Trump, right? But if you watch Reacher, there's no way you watch that show and think like this is like a left-leaning message or this is like left-wing coded, because like Alan Richson in Reacher is a real good display of like more I don't know if positive masculinity is like the right phrase to use, but it's more of like it's not necessarily like a politically coded show. So
Yeah,
like
I
I
see what
can
you're
get
saying.
over that, but like when you have something like this that's clearly an agenda, because once again they're changing the race of the actress and then she is a shit lib, then it's
Yeah,
like,
yes.
all right, well, now this starts to become a little bit more politically coded,
Well,
Yeah,
do you
it-
guys
yeah,
remember too when they first came out with like, I don't know, a clip or a picture of this movie? The dwarves were played by people, like actual people.
Were they? I
And
think
they
they were
were-
always CGI.
No, they weren't
Oh,
CGI in
shit.
the beginning.
They
had
took
like
away the jobs for actual
you're
little
right.
people.
You're
That was
right.
years
do
ago.
remember
I
that, Tycho.
forgot about that,
I do remember
but-
that. That's right.
What's his name? The guy from Game of Thrones, great actor. He was mad about it, and he should be.
Yeah.
I think Wee Man was too. Dude, it's like, it's what little people exist. They exist. You can't give them jobs. There are actors that are little people that are looking for work,
Yeah.
and this is their job.
George
They
Lucas
took
made a
our
career out
job.
of that. He put them in little bear suits and fucking robot costumes. He's like,
I know,
go
but
do
there
it.
are roles for them to play. Peter Dinklage, yeah.
yeah.
Wait, Peter Dinklage protested the real dwarves? Oh, okay, maybe I'm wrong on
Was
that.
he?
You got to,
Why
dude.
would
They
you-
need jobs. What's
You know
the
why? Because he
fucking
wasn't
problem?
cast as one of them. He's like, I got to gatekeep dwarfism for acting.
That you say
Eddie's
that,
got a
Sam,
good point.
that reminds me. There was like I forgot what state it was, but they were doing midget wrestling, and some state or city like banned it. Like this is hurtful and like shows little people in like bad light. And literally, like the midget wrestlers were outside protesting at the courthouse. Like, this is my job. You're taking away
Yeah.
my job.
Who's gonna pay my fucking
Oh,
my wages?
Those signs must have been so small. Those little signs just getting hiked.
Yeah.
You can't even see them. They're not even eye
I mean,
level
at
to
least,
you.
yeah, well, no, you know what? Maybe those signs were at like face level because you have midgets holding them. So they're like waving it around. It's like, oh, this is right at eye level. I don't have to look up to fucking read them.
What,
Peter
is this
Dinklage
sign
pulled the
floating in my
step
face?
ladder up behind him.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I don't know if I should say this on the podcast, but we
Say
had we had a midget customer at work and
Little person.
watching him crawl into a Cadillac XT5, I had to try everything in my being not to fucking laugh. Watch him like it looked like he shot like Superman into the vehicle, and I saw his back legs kicking because he had his torso on the fucking passenger seat.
It's like a
I-
penguin
it
going
was
down ice.
Oh, dude, it was so funny, but I couldn't let it go. But you know what's funny? He's like, this dude rocks it. I never really heard him talk, and he walked into my boss's office, and I guess he's like friends with him, and he starts fucking with him immediately. I'm like, all right, this dude's cool.
There is
Dude.
something about midgets where it's like
Little person.
whatever LPs,
Whatever.
call them LPs. So that where it's like, I know they're adult humans, but like I just want to pick him up and be like, look how cute he is.
You can't
Like,
do
what's he
that.
gonna do to me?
You can't do that.
What's he
Yeah,
gonna
so,
do to
like-
me? Fight me?
An XT5 is like a medium-sized crossover, which
That's what
thank
this
you, Sam,
is.
for actually pulling it up. Yeah, right, it is. And for someone like any of our height, because we're all around, I think Typo's like 5'5", right?
I'm 5'8",
Five-
motherfucker.
Yeah,
You can
the same height
slide
as
right
my-
into this. It's
he's the same
perfect
height as my wife. He might have a little bit of trouble getting into this, but me, Adam, and
Wow.
Sam would all be fine.
Yeah. I used to hate driving. I used to have a Lincoln Town Car that sat like low to the ground, and I used to have to fall into it like to
Yeah.
get into it. But
Yeah,
now I
well-
have I have like a full size SUV, and I just slide right in. I actually have to go up a little bit, but it's comfy.
How
Yeah.
many midgets do you think are taking a fight before you get overpowered?
Little people, it depends. Dude, one of them's gonna run up and just straight hammer punch you right in the balls.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear a cup.
Okay, fair enough. I'll have to think of something else now.
Probably
I once
five.
had a. I
I
once
think
had
at
a,
least 5 or 6.
I had
maybe
a frat
7 if
boy
I'm
little
feeling
person
frisky.
come to a party I was having. I knew this guy a little bit, and his
little.
family. I knew him a little bit. Yeah, his family was. They were from the north of Ireland, and they were Protestants. And while we were drinking throughout the night, we were having like inter-ethnic conflict, yelling at each other about it. Like I was calling him an orange bastard, and that type of thing. It was very interesting to have that with a little person, just a little orange man. Just wanted to kick him, can't kick
Oompa
him. Not
Loompa.
allowed.
All right, ready?
Watch this front flip. Watch this front flip.
Dude, that's so good. Like, you can't, like, liberals do the same thing with black people. You can't infantilize them. You have to treat them like people. They get their balls busted too. They get to do work. Like, it would be like if somebody decided that it was wrong to make fun of like fucking nerds so they don't give Michael Cera a job. Like, come on, man. You give them a job. Let them decide themselves. They're adults. Let them decide themselves whether they want to do it or not.
I think 7 I could fight. I'm going to stick with 7. I think I can fight 7 at a time.
Dude, it's like
I
that
don't think
thing
so. I
online.
think that's too many.
It always goes online where it's like, how many 5th graders can you take before
Yeah,
they
it's the same.
outnumber you? It's like the same thing.
But it matters. Is it at once or one after the other?
Well, at once.
At once?
Yeah,
I think 7's high, dude. I don't think you can take 7.
Mm,
They're going to overpower you, dude.
I don't know. They're all at perfect head kicking
And
length.
you're a trained fighter, though. So, like, are
Yeah, I
these also
know.
trained
That's
fighters,
what I'm
or are they
saying.
just like normal dudes?
Yeah,
Even if they were trained fighters, what the fuck does that matter to me?
If they're
I
trained
think that
fighters,
would
it's
matter.
always been 7. It's not the same answer. If they're trained fighters, it's got to be less than
They
normal
aren't.
people. But
It's
if
still
they
7.
are,
It's
what do you
still 7.
mean?
yeah. Could you
Okay,
imagine
do you think
getting?
you could take? Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, could you imagine getting fucked up by a midget? Like,
No.
imagine being like Count Dooku in that scene in episode 3 where he just gets his shit fucked up by Yoda.
Wait, we were talking about
Yeah,
Snow White. How are we talking about
It's
this?
all the
Oh,
same.
7 dwarfs.
because 7
Seven
Yeah.
dwarves,
7 dwarves. Yeah.
7 beagles.
Could you
I don't-
take all
Beagle-
7 dwarves?
Man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're weak. One of them's sleepy. He's a narcolept. You just fuck
Do you
that
think
guy.
you
You don't have to do anything with him. That's one down right away. And you're down to 6.
Yeah.
Do you think you could fight more dwarves or average-sized women?
Ooh.
Oh,
Women are pretty
Well, I was
weak.
assuming the dwarves were men.
I could definitely take Snow White.
They are men.
I think Gal Gadot, I don't know how much training she has. She's big. I could probably beat her.
she's
Yeah,
five. She's 5'10", I think. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Yeah,
but,
she's
like,
tall, but
I
she's
don't know
not
how
really
much
Wonder
training
Woman, and
she
I'm
has.
stronger than her.
I
so
went
I
real
will
deep in thought as soon as I said
You
she's
could beat her up. I'm
5'10".
talking about me.
definitely beat up
I
Gal
was like,
Gadot.
oh, I don't know.
I think Gal Gadot might give me some trouble depending on how much IDF training she has.
Do you think Jews are
Is she-
innately a little bit more like combative because they're used to being, kind of nomads?
Maybe.
Like a
Maybe.
genetic thing?
Do you think it's like hereditary?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know. I'm
I
just
maybe.
kind of throwing shit at the wall.
I don't know
don't-
any Jews,
don't
but the
know.
ones I see on TV, they look pretty nerdy, I'll say.
Yeah, but in the early
Yeah.
1900s, we actually talked about this last week. There were a lot of professional, famous Jewish boxers.
Yeah, but then blacks and Italians came in, and that was over.
Well, no, it was the same time as the Italians,
Oh.
and now
Well, then you were
it's
still
mostly
better.
Hispanics that are boxers.
No, I think it was like a status thing. Like it was seen as lower status, so Jews left that.
Right? No, that's what happened. But like at the
Oh, it
time,
doesn't
like,
make it for me.
like the Jews and the Italians replaced the Irish because the Irish used to be the boxers. It was whoever is the most recent immigrant, most low status was the famous boxers. And now,
That's actually true. Yeah.
right, it is.
That's
And
why
now,
there was always
now
the
it's
Mexicans
Hispanics.
when I was growing up.
Right, exactly.
Ah, dude.
But now it's shifting again. We're going to be seeing like Haitian boxers. No one wants to see that. They're going to take a bite out.
Oh my God, yeah. It's Mike Tyson's people.
Yeah, just to be fair, we're doing this like talking about this movie, but I don't think any of us actually went and watched it.
No.
I don't think anyone,
No one
anyone
did.
will.
Apparently.
Remember
only
when
got,
the
like,
Daily
40 million.
Wire was gonna come out with like a Snow White? They had Brett Cooper walking around as fucking Snow White in some video.
Can we just not like the Daily Wire? just
such
like
cringe content.
I like every time right wingers try to make art. I'm
It's
sorry, most
terrible.
of them suck at it. It just I hate to say that, it's a fact of life.
It's true.
I had a friend that was messaging me asking about like other metal bands that he liked, and he couldn't separate his autism from himself, and just said, "Oh, all these
Oh.
bands are like all leftists." And I told him to look up Trivium, and they have one song out of like 10 of their CDs that they mention racism, homophobia, and bigotry or something like that. It's like, oh, these guys are woke. I'm like, it's literally just one song. Like, if you're going to be this way about music, you might as well just listen to Kid Rock and fucking Ted Nugent. And like those, they're good, I guess, but you're not going to enjoy anything else.
Yeah, I think the whole right wing content thing that sucks is because they do exactly what they criticize the left of doing. Like, oh, you're just messaging. Like, yeah, so are you. You're not
Yeah.
putting like a content for, like, there's no actual comment, there's no jokes, there's no like substance. It's just like our right wing message is better than the left wing message. Like, okay, but this sucks too.
It's always super contrived. It's like when
Yeah.
people have like an explicit goal, they're making music to make music rather than making it because that's the way they want to do it. Right.
Did you say Pantera is right wing? Or
I mean, I think so. More
most
like
metal
it's
music
more
is
of like a
right-wing
coded
conservative.
thing. Yeah, right.
yeah.
But like, I don't think I've never heard any of them really talk politics. I would guess probably Diamond Vinny were, because I seen some statuses about Vinnie Paul that he was saying some less than pleasant things about Mexicans. So, and
you know
Phil
who's,
Anselmo always used to run around, with a rebel flag and shout white power doing a Sieg Heil. So,
Yeah.
the dude
don't
from
know.
Trapped is
Yes.
like conservative.
yeah,
Bill Smith
Yeah.
Trap rules.
yeah.
I just
I
knew-
usually Trapped. Yeah.
I don't really know these bands, that's why I asked, but I know like for some reason in the 90s, maybe late 80s, like white nationalists were in the metal scene for some reason. Like they were big into that scene, and I don't really know why, but I just thought like, oh, metal must be more.
There was a
right-wing or something.
big sect of, and I'm not saying this in like the hyperbolic sense, I'm saying it in the literal sense, like literal skinhead Nazis that were into hardcore back around then. Like not like Trump supporter Nazis, like full on head shave.
Yeah, I know.
Swastika,
Yeah.
like hardcore,
Like
legit guys.
American History X Nazis.
Yeah.
That was a real big thing back in the
Maybe
80s and
but
90s,
maybe the reason they were into it was because it was like the counterculture of rap emerging.
Yeah, that's a
You know
good
what I'm saying?
point,
So it was
actually.
like counter to rap.
Yeah, that's actually
They're all like,
that
fuck
makes-
this music.
that's yeah, I assume that might be right. Yeah,
Okay,
that's interesting.
I have confirmed that Rachel Zegler is not Jewish, by the way. So this
job.
leads me
Oh.
to this. Okay,
Okay.
Who's
Greg
this guy?
Zegler. That's her dad. That's her dad, who is
her dad's so white.
of Polish descent, right? And then her mom is Colombian. She went to a Catholic school. She identifies as Christian. And her dad is of Polish descent, but we got the German guy in the comments here saying that the name sounds German. That's very common. I think my own last name is descended eventually back to Germany in Hungary. Regardless, there's a lot of that in Central Europe. So actually, this might be okay casting from an ethnic standpoint because it's a German fairy tale.
That's a lot of
the
digging because we all know they weren't thinking that.
I know they weren't thinking that, but that's how I think about it, because I think of these stories as cultural stories that belong to the people at a certain level who created them, and Snow White is German.
And it's funny that the evil person is the Jew.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah, actually, that is funny.
Oh my
That is
god.
And
funny.
that reminds me, something I wanted to say earlier. Another controversy of this movie is that Rachel Zegler, whatever, is she is a ardent supporter of Palestine. Gal Gadot, obviously, an ardent supporter of Israel. So the
That's
casting
interesting.
pissed off both sides of this, and they changed the story a ton, and they made it like not what the original story was. Which, stories evolve. That's very normal, even in the past. But it evolved too much. It's not really Snow White, but actually, she's probably German, Polish or German. So
I wonder how many scenes they actually had together, or they just like try to write them where they never had to like
Try to-
really meet.
it'd be great if they just like scrapped the movie and it's just a boxing match between them. Like Gal Gadot would win,
I'm for that.
unfortunately, but tag me in, coach. I'll beat her up. I'll beat up a woman.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we were saying in the GC earlier, is that some women just need a good metaphorical stabbing. Emphasis on metaphorical.
Talking about things that could beat things up. I learned today how much a gorilla could theoretically bench press. 4,000 pounds. Isn't that crazy?
Whoa.
I know.
Dude,
Yeah.
And they only weigh like 480, 500 pounds. I know.
Yeah, that's what Jordan Peterson always used to talk about, that where like chimps, they literally rip each other apart. Like if
They
you
can rip
see
you apart.
yeah, if you see videos of chimps when they find like animals in their exhibit, I mean, it is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like it's funny to watch, but like if you actually think what's happening, they like whip these animals around like they're fucking rag dolls. Like there's
I
a video.
looked up the bench pressing weight of all great apes today.
That's
the gorilla was 4,000 pounds.
You should
Chimps
write a
only,
thread
like-
about that. I'll help you edit it.
Okay. Chimps are only like 280. And orangutans
Really?
are like, because they're small, but to their size, that's like crazy weight, right? Because they're like only like 3 feet
makes
tall.
sense.
Orangutans were like, I think upwards of like 500 to 800 pounds or something like that. But gorillas by far the most, 4,000 pounds. And they only weigh like 480, 500 pounds.
But I mean, you look at like a gorilla's build too, their arms and their chest and everything.
It's a perfect weightlifter, like body build.
Right. They ain't gonna be able to squat nothing, but like their upper body, that's literally where all their strength is. So you
Yeah.
know, and you have to imagine
these-
they were also like genetically designed, however you kind of conceive this, to have a lot of upper body strength in order to climb and stuff like that. So I mean, it kind of makes sense that.
But 4,000 pounds is fucking like, no pun intended, bananas.
Dude, that's like a car.
It
It's
is a
crazy.
car. Yeah.
But that made me start thinking, like, could we train a gorilla to get stronger? Like, if their natural push is 4,000,
What if we get
if we got him in the gym and TRT'd him, could we get him to like 6,000?
Dude, I mean, would you want to do that? Because what
Yes.
happens if you do the wrong?
100%, Kyle, that's a crazy. Of course,
I've
I
seen
did.
Planet of the Apes.
What are you
Dude. I
talking
know
about?
this.
Are you sure you want to run that risk? Have you
Yeah,
watched
I do.
Kong? Have you watched Kong versus Godzilla? It don't end
I-
well.
Want to see a gorilla bench press as much weight as fucking possible? Yeah,
I want to see a gorilla bench press a GMC truck, and I could die a happy man.
they have to be trainable to do that. They train them to do sign language.
Yeah,
Just
well,
be
you know
like,
what?
push, stupid.
You know what we found out on an earlier episode, that what was it? The orangutan has a higher
Orangutan,
IQ than
69
Sam.
IQ.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no, I'm
and-
sorry. The
No,
gorilla has a
Sam's
higher
retarded,
IQ.
you're right.
than
Sam's retarded. The orangutan has a higher IQ than Sam did. Yeah.
That's what?
No,
to
it's
be fair,
facts.
they were only 17 points behind me. So
Who would win in a fight? Silverback gorilla or grizzly bear?
Grizzly bear. This is not even a
think?
question. It's
Wait, really?
100% grizzly bear.
really,
Why?
okay, I'm interested. Why?
Way stronger. Like
Really?
in sense of like maybe not like push power, but like
Okay.
strike power. Like their claws are so massive. Their bite force is massive. They're probably more like athletic. Like they're prone to hunters. They're hunters. They're predators.
what AI is.
Gorillas aren't predators.
Be
They
a
just
grizzly
they're a
bear.
defensive animal, if anything. But like they're strong. But one swipe from a grizzly bear is gonna fuck that gorilla up major.
Yeah, let me.
I
I'm
never
gonna pull
knew
up a
that.
picture.
I never
Yeah.
knew that grizzly bears really had like. I mean, obviously that's one of the main ways that they hunt and everything is by using their paws and everything. But I didn't think they were like that strong.
Oh, super
Oh,
strong.
they're
Yeah,
insanely
super strong.
And they're way over 1,000
they
pounds.
crack cars open. Like, yeah,
Like a
Ooh.
can opener, dude.
Jesus,
gorillas are like less than half the weight of a grizzly
Okay.
bear.
grizzly bear.
Yeah.
What could beat a grizzly bear then?
I personally think a Siberian tiger could be a grizzly bear.
Okay, yeah, a grizzly bear's
Tiger would win.
a grizzly bear's paw swipe can exert a force of around 600 pounds. This is significantly stronger than the average
Yeah.
human punch and can easily disable or kill prey with a single strike. Strength and speed. They're
Look
also
at that
known for
fucking
incredible.
thing.
Yeah, they can reach up to speeds up to 35 miles
Yeah.
an hour.
They run so fat and they can
Yeah.
swim. Gorillas can't swim either. So it's
Yeah.
like, so I think a Siberian tiger, which are the biggest tigers in the world, could beat a grizzly bear because I think they're a better apex predator than a bear. But maybe a polar bear might beat a Siberian tiger. I don't know because polar bears are
Oh
fucking huge.
Jesus!
Yeah, polar
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
reading that. Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah, if you're hit with that, you're having a bad day.
that's what I'm saying. Now imagine a gorilla who they're only like 5 feet tall gorillas, by the way, like male silverbacks. They're only like 5 feet tall, like
Really?
450, 500 pounds. Yeah, they're not huge. So gorillas are like gorillas, silverbacks are Jesus Christ, grizzlies are like 9 feet tall on their hind legs.
A grizzly bear weighs like 1,200 pounds.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I'm saying. They're
Oh,
way
okay.
more. They weigh way more. They're taller on their hind legs. They have a stronger strike force and a stronger bite force. They're just
Okay,
way stronger.
So
Polar bears
who do
are
you-
incredibly violent, though.
What do you think would win? A
Yeah, I know.
giraffe? Yeah, a giraffe or a grizzly bear? Because a giraffe can exert about 2,000 pounds of force through when it kicks.
They can also swing their neck. They swing their neck for like when they fight each other. They have like a big neck swing too.
Right.
I think if the grizzly bear though brings it down by its like Achilles, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Grizzly wins in an enclosed space. Giraffe wins in an open field. I read
Yeah,
that.
that's
and I
fair.
agree with it.
Okay.
No, that's actually I actually agree with Sam on that.
Yeah,
Or whoever he
I
got it
think I would
from.
agree
Yeah.
with that as well.
The giraffe.
I've
needs
been
space
trying to
work.
start Animal Fight League for fucking 7 years, and no one wants to fund it. All I'm saying is these we could figure out for sure.
Like
Get a
lion.
gorilla, get a bear, throw them in a fucking cage, gladiator
Mix
style
them.
shit.
Listen,
See who
you
fucking
need
wins.
Adam. You need to talk to Red Hawk about that because he's going out to Africa to do a safari
This is
hunt.
what I'm talking about. This is what I need.
He'd be all about it.
This is what we fucking need. And then we'll have like build-ups. Like that's the main event. And then the first fight could be like 5 wolves versus a hippo or something like that. You know, we'll start scaling up fights until we get to the fucking main event.
I think the hippo is going to fuck up 5 wolves easy.
Yeah. Well,
I
that's
think so too.
Yeah, that's
Not
gonna be
even
my
the
next
root.
question. Is that
The-
how many wolves do you think it would take to fuck up a hippo?
A lot.
10.
I
More
was
than
going to
10.
say
Maybe
10
maybe more than 10.
I don't know if a
'Cause-
wolf could really get into a hippo's skin. It's very thick.
I think they would have to tire him out
yeah.
until it just can't exert
Yeah.
itself anymore, and then they just get it.
Well, like
That's what they would have
They
to do.
wouldn't know how. 2-inch thick. Hippo has 2-inch.
Yeah,
thick
it's
skin.
armor.
if
I know. So I think they
wolves-
have to tire him out until they can't, and then eventually they'll probably bite through something.
Thicker than an
like the asshole.
elephant's Skin. Holy
you would have to also consider if the wolves would be able to kind of learn the way that a hippo hunts, because like a hippo, if you go side to side, a hippo can't really get you because they're not
True.
that coordinated. So like if a wolf would be able to go side to side, then it may have a slightly better chance of fucking it up. But I think a one-on-one, it's nothing but 10 wolves on the other hand. Okay. Well, you know what? Actually, we have kind of like a theoretical model for this. How many hyenas does it
This is
take
what this show
to
needs to be more of.
kill
Animal
a
fight talk.
hippo? Yeah. Okay, so while hyenas can sometimes kill hippos, it typically requires a large pack, possibly dozens, to
Yeah.
take down a healthy adult
Wow.
hyepo.
Yeah, for sure.
There are documented.
Hyenas
they
are
punch
way
like
bigger
one
than
lion.
lions.
Okay.
No, they're not.
Oh. No, I'm sorry. Hyenas are way bigger than wolves. Wolves.
Are they really?
Let me check. Let me check.
I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Check
I'm
that.
not sure. Let me check.
I don't know
'Cause,
about
yeah,
that.
I feel like they're probably similar size. I feel like the wolves may be bigger than hyenas, but I could be wrong. Like
There
because
was
I've
a
seen-
I'm not
story
confident in that now.
where I don't know if it was a tiger or a lion,
Mhm.
but there was like it was wild dogs. You know, like wild dogs in Africa.
No, I'm
Yeah.
I'm totally wrong.
Yeah, I know you're
Oh,
wrong.
no,
Wild
I
dogs-
was only slightly right.
Okay.
88 to not 190 pounds for hyenas. I read the kilograms. 70 to 145 pounds for
wolves are massive.
Wolves.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
The
So
hyenas is slightly larger, but not that big.
Okay.
There was a story where like there's like the rangers in Africa like found like all this blood and hair, and they're like following the trail of blood and hair, and they come across like a scene where there was like 20 dead wild African dogs and like 1 dead lion. But it took out like 20 of them before fucking they fucking took it down.
That's insane. A buddy
Yeah.
of mine who lived in Kentucky had an Alaskan Malamute that was like 90% wolf. That thing was fucking huge. And I'm sure if you look up videos of people who like raise wolves or like, breed wolves, it's actually kind of funny because like you could see how they resemble dogs so much, but like their snouts are way more narrow, their teeth are sharper. There's like very, very
Wider
huge
head.
difference. Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Hyenas have a very strong bite force. though.
Very strong bite force. They're
Very
also
strong bite force, more than wolves
a
a lot.
matriarchy-led society.
I didn't know that.
Really?
And they-
And so
yeah.
are lions, right? Kind of.
No, not really.
Okay.
Males run the shit and
Right,
pride,
no, that's true.
but women
Yeah.
hunt, the females hunt. No, at lions, in fact, the birth rate for hyenas is like super low because a lot of them die because female hyenas have a fake dick, and they have to come out of the fake dick, and they get suffocated in the fake dick a lot. So a lot of hyena births are just born dead. So it's like one in every
Wow.
like 5 make it or something like that.
Yeah.
What's the point
Emmanuel's
of the
got
fake dick?
Fuck. What's the fucking point of it? I forgot. Some reason I can't remember, but they have like a fake dick. Someone look it up. I don't fucking know. But they
Okay, hold
definitely
on.
have
I'll
one.
look it up.
Emmanuel has a cool fact here that's very good for illegitimate scholar. It's traditional to believe that every blacksmith whose trade is hereditary is really a wizard or witch with the power to change into a hyena. This
Sounds
type
like
of thing is
Skinwalker,
pretty common.
Africa shit.
Okay, yeah. Why do
Jay Forte is sharing a cool thing too that I was just reading about the other
Oh,
day.
I read that. They just killed a bunch of foxes until they got ones that didn't
Well,
bite people.
They selectively bred them.
Okay, so
Right.
yeah, female
Killing.
Tens of
spotted
generations.
female spotted hyenas have what appears to be a penis or a pseudo penis. That's a
told
funny
you.
word. Due to high levels of androgens during the prenatal development, which masculinizes their genitalia and contributes to their social dominance. Oh, that is so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So I said pre-show, today was my wife's 20-week sonogram, and I was asking the lady who was doing the ultrasound, like, okay, would you be able to tell like different bone structure in the womb? She said not really like that early, but just the reason why I find that so fascinating is because like testosterone once again has such a profound impact on the human body that even like just testosterone has such a profound impact on a body, not just the human body, but bodies in general, that, you know, female hyenas need testosterone and androgens exposed to them when they're in the womb. So that way they have dominance when they come out. It's a matriarch. Or
Hyenas
matriarchy.
are trans confirmed.
Yeah,
True.
I mean,
That's
in
what
a
the trans
way.
are doing, dude. Dominating women's spaces.
I want an Uncrustable so bad right now, Sam. Fuck you.
Always
So
got that
bad right now.
motherfucking
I'm
bang
fucking
on me.
starving.
All right, we should. What about that Adolescence? I know we wanted to talk about that.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, we went so far with the animal fight stuff. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about adolescence.
Also, funny comment: female hyenas look like China, the wrestler.
Okay, hold on.
I'm
So
looking
I don't
at
know
it.
shit about like wrestling, but I keep seeing Rhea Ripley, and I'm just saying, would.
I mean, China's old school. She's also very dead.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Wow, that is one manly looking bitch.
Yeah. She did porn too, which is wild.
Jesus Christ! I feel like she gave you a hand job. She might fucking snap that fucker off.
She's like a chimp.
Jesus Christ, her jaw looks more defined than mine. My God, look at this bitch. She fucking makes Chris
Speaking of animal
Jericho
fight-
look like a fucking pussy.
Speaking of animal fights,
Wait, what's adolescence?
oh, you didn't see that?
I didn't watch it either, but a friend of mine did a stream about it, so I got a little clue.
It's a show on Netflix. It's actually filmed pretty cool. It's so each is 4 episodes. Each episode, it's filmed in one shot. Each episode's an hour
Oh, that's
long.
cool.
So it's actually, that is cool. I will say that. But it's fucking propaganda because it basically is saying that like Andrew Tate, Red Pill guys, Manosphere is fucking radicalizing young teenage men, and the result of in the movie or the show is he kills a 13-year-old girl, and they basically, I mean, they name Andrew Tate by name in the show, and
That's wild.
So it's
they
kind
say
of
the red
funny.
pill stuff.
It's so funny to me because the only examples they actually have of like incels, quote unquote, actually going off doing mass shootings is like honestly 3 people in the last 10 years. I think it's Elliot Rogers.
There's more trans ones than
Yeah,
there are
way more. I was just
yeah,
gonna say
hold
that.
on. Yeah,
Misogynist
so
ones.
there's not only that, but though they never talk about like, and it's a borderline epidemic of female teachers having sex with teenage boys, like young students. I'm talking like 12 to like 15 years old.
Which,
Nice.
joke aside, that's a real problem. That screws
is.
them up for life on their
Yeah.
on how they view relationships. I
Well,
know
yeah,
people
exactly.
joke about it like, oh, it's so cool. If I was 16, I would want to bang my 28-year-old teacher. It's like, yeah, you would think it's cool at the time, but no, it would mess you up for
Well,
life.
and not only that, there are legitimate cases of like where boys impregnated the girls when they were like that young, and they were responsible for that child
Yeah.
afterwards.
What?
And they're a rape victim.
Yes.
What?
They're
Yeah.
a literal rape victim.
Yeah.
A statutory rape victim, probably.
The boy,
but-
yeah, the boy is a statutory rape victim, and he is responsible for that child.
I just always think of that South Park episode where the cops are like, nice.
And it's a kindergartner.
Oh, Jesus.
I love it. Nice.
Nice.
But I mean,
know, those
I'm
are
not even
predators.
kidding. Like, my one friend Rolo, who's more of the guy who kind of quoted the red pill back in like 2003, right? Or at least
Yeah.
in reference to like the manosphere. He always like throws it out there. Like, there's literally one, I want to say probably about 45 minutes away from me, a woman that did that to a kid. And it's like well over 100 a year just in the United States. So I mean, there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the guy who
and the
blocked
thing-
Sam, by the way.
No, that's Ryan.
No.
All right,
I
it's
saw
Ryan
him in the
Sam, right?
wild today. Randomly, he was commenting on someone else's thing.
That's funny. But also with the show, it's filmed in the UK, and you know they're the
Aramish is from
kid.
the UK. Is he saying that Parliament spoke about it and said all schools should make kids watch it?
Yes,
He's talking about
yes,
Adolescence.
that actually happened. The
Whoa.
Prime Minister came out and even supported that.
Is that a
Prime- so
Rishi
this-
Rishi Sunak, right?
No, it's Steer Karmer.
Keir
Starmer.
Starmer, yeah.
Sunak is
Yeah, okay.
better, but he's the Conservative Party head. He's not the Prime Minister.
Okay. I thought he was a prime
Yeah.
minister of one of
But-
those countries over there.
Anyways,
No, he's the head of the Conservatives. He would be the Prime Minister if the Conservatives got in.
Okay.
so they loosely based it on a case where a 15-year-old killed another 15-year-old girl, but the 15-year-old in real life was a migrant, was like from Africa or something. And then the movie, they made it like a 13-year-old white kid that has like a normal UK family. In the show, they portray his dad as this hothead. He loses his shit sometimes. Like he's not violent. He just kind of like gets upset and like yells or throws something. And they're like, oh, it's because this masculinity, like this failed masculinity is like the problem in society. Like there's literally one entire episode, dude. You take out the fact that he murdered a girl in the show. This is happening like all the time where this like, you know, doctor woman or whatever in the show, she's sitting down. It's literally an hour long where she is just mentally berating this kid. And like, I understand in context of the show, like he just killed someone. So like, it's like whatever, but this happens a lot where like they have to sit down with like these literal like aging feminists that probably don't even have kids, and they're telling you that like, hey, what you're feeling is wrong. You're wrong as a man for feeling like this. And like this is being hyped, and it's like crazy that they're making it seem like, oh, this violence is happening because of masculinity. Like I mean, maybe there's a case out there in the UK where some red-pilled guy, teenager might have hurt someone or did something, but the overwhelming amount of cases of violence is not coming from like the manosphere. It's coming from migrants. Like it's literally
of course.
Aramish is an ex-Muslim, by the way, so his perspective on this is big.
Okay. So
Aramish
it's funny,
is the guy commenting. That's his name.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I figured. They always say that like men need to express themselves more, right? Men need to get in touch with their feelings, with their feminine side. Okay, well, that's exactly what that kid did. He got in touch with his feminine side and how he felt, and he went out and expressed it in the form of murdering a motherfucker, right? Rather than telling him like, hey, no, look, we're gonna get you with the boys. And we're going to bust your balls a little bit, but then we're going to go to the squat rack. You're going to squat till you puke. And then after that, we're going to go eat a couple steaks. And then we're going to tell you how good you did. And then we're going to do it all over again, day in, day out.
Yes,
or
physical exertion is a good
right. Well, yeah. And you go hang out with the boys, go have some beers or something. Do something that guys do. Go fix a car. Something that you and your guy friends would do instead of sitting there talking to, like you said, some 30, 40-year-old single childless cat lady who's going to tell you all about how you should feel about this. And then the even like worst part of this is that there's like a chilling effect on men going into like these teaching environments, because what do they say about guys who want to go and like teach younger kids? Oh, you're weird for wanting to be around kids. You're gay. But like a lot of these kids could use
a lot of
positive
elementary school male teachers are gay, but
right. But like, once again, if a straight male wanted to go into that kind of situation, I understand, in full context why people might think that's weird, but like a lot of these kids could use a positive role model, right? Like a lot of these kids
100%.
might be coming from, single parent households, which, obviously that's not like the topic of the show today, but like they may need a positive male role model in their life that they don't have at all.
That
but
matters
we
a lot more
actively
middle school, high
discourage
school.
that.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
Sure.
And male teachers are a lot more common in middle school and high school. I don't think that having a male teacher matters that much as a male until you're hitting puberty. So middle
Yeah, I
school.
agree. But no, it's funny
Yeah.
today. Before I was doing some sparring shit earlier, we have some females who spar with us, and I was joking around about being like, "Oh my god, my fucking arm hurts, but I can't be a pussy. I just got to keep, going through it." And she's like, "My therapist says like you shouldn't say that about yourself." And I was like, "That's why therapy's gay." Like, what do you mean? Like, that's how I work out. I literally, if I can't do an extra set, I'm like, "Don't be a fucking pussy. Get it up." Like that's how that's how we do. That's how men like get through shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, is like in the show, like there's actually in the end of the show, it's the mom and the dad of the child that murdered someone. Like it's all focused on this family. So like you see the perspective of the parents that have a child that just killed someone. It's kind of crazy, that perspective. But they talk about like, oh, we should have put him in therapy. We should have put him in therapy. We should have put him in therapy.
But the put him on the football team.
Yeah,
exactly.
As in
Right.
soccer,
He wasn't,
but yeah,
he wasn't like his dad said he put him in some sports, but he didn't want to do it anymore, so he just let him quit and stuff like that. And it's like that would have been better for him. And like he was spending all this time online, and like getting red pilled and radicalized from Andrew Tate, and then I don't know. It's crazy.
How did they catch the kid in the show? Like, how do they know it was him?
He straight up murdered the girl on camera, like on a CCTV camera.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty cut and dry.
Well, and I will say I'm kind of spoiling it, but the first episode
I gotta
kind of
watch
leaves that
this.
open. The first episode leaves it open, like the kid's denying it. The cops like bust in their house, and the kid's like peeing, and they're arresting him, and you're like, dude, this kid's probably innocent. And then the episode ends with like showing the camera, and you're like, fuck, he didn't.
They got him. They got him.
But they do show like, these girls like in the school, one of the girls that he killed, they're like online on his social media, like calling him an incel, calling him like you're never gonna get a woman, and like the whole school. I don't know. They don't really go.
Kids are
exactly
mean.
why.
I don't know if you know that, Sam.
Yeah,
Kids are fucking mean.
I mean, they're like
forgot, my
13,
bad.
14 years old, but like the whole school is like laughing, reacting to her comment. She's like, it had like hundreds of like reactions it showed. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I'm not saying like you should murder someone for being cyberbullied, but like, like they portray it as like the men are the problem. And I'm not like saying that like, killing someone is the solution. I'm just saying that like, hey, there's another side to the story a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
he's
you used to be able to get
only
away from bullying by going home.
What was that?
Yeah.
Tweet?
Yeah.
Wasn't Tyler the Creator like years ago? He's like, "What do you mean you're getting cyberbullied? Just shut the computer off."
Yeah.
That tweet is so funny.
Oh yeah, I love
so
it. I
good.
love it. But to Typo's point though, like you think about some of the mass shooters back, what the hell was it? The Westfield massacre, I think it was back in the 90s at a high school in West Virginia where somebody did exactly that. And it's always like, okay, well, what's their side of the story? The chances are these kids were being fucked with relentlessly. And like, there is a certain kind of line here of like, okay, if you have like entire groups of people harassing you for an extended period of time, like Typo said, it doesn't make it right to go out and, off a motherfucker. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, what can we do to help this kid out of this situation? Like, is he not sticking up for himself? Or, you got to understand both sides of the story, because clearly it sounds like they weren't giving that here, where it's just like, oh, this guy's bad because he did this. But, why did he feel like that was something that he should do?
Yeah, in the show, his plan was to show up with a knife and scare her so she would leave him alone.
Yeah.
And then she shoved him, and then he just got up and started.
Well, that bitch is asking for it. What the fuck?
So anyway, I started blasting.
Anyway, I started stabbing.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But I mean, it's kind of weird because I actually thought the show, if you take the propaganda of it, the show's actually kind of good. The acting was pretty good. The whole like one shot through the height, because they move around, they do like crazy shit the whole time. So it was actually like kind of cool. But the whole focus is like how teenage men are being radicalized by basically Andrew Tate, and it's like, okay, let's calm down a little bit.
I heard I'm sure it was probably just a joke, but someone said I think it was in like some article or something talking about Andrew Tate, and they said my 7th grade kids were saying Andrew Tate lines or something at me, and I just bust out laughing. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna be okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of Andrew Tate, but he is
No, neither am I.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he's a
He's
piece of
really
shit,
funny.
but he's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like that's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah,
if you're
it always-
funny, you'll do well.
Yeah, it's always made me laugh because like there is hours and hours of evidence of him admitting to human trafficking. And then he's always like, "Oh, the Matrix is after me." I'm like, "Well, I mean, there's probably like a degree of that, but at the same time, you also put it out on the internet admitting to crimes. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
No,
you know, like,
he's described in detail what he's done. I mean, you can dismiss when he says I'm a human trafficker as a joke, but then he describes in detail, unironically, what he does, and what he describes is human trafficking.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
Like,
100%.
what
Again,
are you
this
guys
is like
doing?
separating
People still argue with me
leftist
about it.
artists from their like music. It's the same thing. It's
Right.
like, yeah, he might be a trafficker, but he's funny. Like, you know, it's like
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, and-
really funny.
And even though, like, yeah, I don't think he's the best role model either. But at the same time, he's like, me and Luke talked about this a while back, but it was like he's clearly a reaction to like feminized
course.
society, like suppressing young men, and like it's always the Christians on Twitter. They're like, he's the worst role model, and it's like Christian dudes and I'm like, I get it, but you failed. The
Right.
reason they're turning to Andrew Tate
Exactly.
is because you fucking failed.
You
right.
can't compare him to a vacuum. You have to compare him to the alternatives. And that really
Exactly.
shows you why he's popular. And
Well,
I
yeah.
think his message is bad. But I think that the reason his message is popular is because of what the other messages available are. And none of them
Well,
are good.
And when for your entire, childhood life, every single male actor in every single TV show was always painted as either a dumbass who couldn't help himself or like a serial abuser.
Nice
Eventually, when
sitcom
somebody
dads.
comes along and they get women, they drive cool cars, and they sound competent, you're like, I like that, right?
Yeah.
Like that is
Yeah.
cool. I want to be that when I grow up.
And he has no sympathy. He has sympathy for men, and he has no sympathy for women. And that is like the total inverse of what we experience
right.
in our life through media and the internet. And
Well,
stuff.
look
And then
at
he
like-
also scams men, but whatever.
Look at yeah,
yeah.
for-
Well,
look,
yeah.
look at lefty culture, like the Harry Sisson thing, right? Where this guy
Yeah.
just has a Rolodex of bitches, and they're like, he's raping these women. You're like,
Yeah.
No, he's not.
But literally,
I like
think
him more
most-
now.
I
Yeah,
know.
I was
like,
gonna
don't
say,
make me-
dude.
I said on Twitter, like, don't make me defend him. Let me just keep
Yeah.
calling him gay. Now I have to defend him for being fucking cool.
I'm pretty sure
It's-
most guys who saw that were like, dude's got game, I
Like,
guess.
dude, I was like,
I
I'm
haven't seen a
single.
single
He's young.
conservative criticize him at all. They're just like, he didn't do anything.
He did
Like, I
nothing.
don't care.
Well, I was surprised. I was like, oh, like I actually thought it was gonna be way worse. I read through it real quick, and that's I only read that one thread that girl made, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. 'cause
That
it's
was the
stupid.
biggest. I'm reaching for something ever, and it's just not there. Like,
Well,
so
it
you-
worked because he got canceled by his
But
friends.
it's easy to
and
do
people
that
on the
by
left.
his side, though. That's the thing, Typo. It's easy to do that. You just be like, he's a
it
rapist.
was-
And like, you're right.
I know.
Like,
I know it was so crazy. I was
I
like,
wonder
oh,
if
it's
he
nothing.
switches teams now.
that I'm waiting for the Harry Sisson conservative grift to come
He's
through.
gonna come
Oh
out with a
yeah,
MAGA hat.
he's
Harry
gonna
Sisson,
he's
come on 5 till midnight.
Yes.
He'll be the next fucking Tulsi Gabbard. He's gonna make a 5-year career of leaving the left and then fucking get a position in the Trump or in the Vance administration.
But like,
That
I
would
mean,
be
the
hilarious.
whole story was literally like, send me nudes, dummy. And they're like, okay. And they're like, how could he? I mean, every young dude is doing that. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, that's what I
What's the
mean. When she
problem? Were they
posted that,
15? No, they were grown women. Did he coerce them? Did he threaten them? No. He just asked them to, and they did it. Oh, what an evil guy.
Right.
yeah.
He's an abuser.
And I'm just saying, I don't think there's any guy out there whose day gets worse by seeing tits. So, like, we were all young dudes once. You fucking look at it and you're like,
That's what
oh,
I'm
dude,
saying.
I bet this girl would send me a picture of her tits. And he says, hey, you're hot. I want to bend you over and bang you on the kitchen counter. And then she fucking sends him a picture of his tits.
Right. He's
Okay.
a young. If I was young and single, I did the same shit. Actually, I did the
And
same
he's
shit. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like when
I
I was like,
literally-
I hate that we're defending him, but for
I
fuck's
know.
sake, this guy's an influencer. So, like, yeah, a bunch of like liberal women are like throwing themselves at
Yeah.
this guy, and he's like, what, 22, 21? Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck do you
Right.
expect?
he's like, let me see that fat ass whore. And the girl's like, okay.
He's like
And women-
respectfully sending me
Women
your
like
tits.
to be spoken to in that way. A lot of women do.
That's
Not
true.
all of them. A lot of them
That's
do.
true.
And they won't admit it openly, but they fucking do.
Well, it goes
And
against the narrative.
it worked because he got them. So like, yeah, it worked. So like, let's have that conversation instead, women. Why did it work?
Right. Why are you hoarse? Tell us. Tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I think I've called my wife a cunt, and then the next time, like the next couple days, she was the nicest person in the world
I've
to
never
me.
done that. Holy shit.
Yeah, I did that with my wife one time, and I was like, oh, I think she might stab me. I can't. I can't.
I mean, to be fair, my wife was being pretty mean to me, so I had to bust
So
out the
was
old
mine. I
C.
still had to apologize somehow.
Also, yeah,
That's
anti-sex. Okay, so yeah, I was talking to Dave the Distributist. I had him on my show last week, and for everybody that kind of cares about the whole distant rights sphere, I recommend you guys go check that show out. Shameless plug. But there is like this annoying sector of the right that basically says, okay, as men, you can't play video games, you can't listen to heavy metal. Any sex that isn't for procreation is degeneracy. Like, what is your message to men then if like you can't do anything fun, if like all you're meant to do is just suffer and work?
Yeah.
Like, you will attract nobody to
Right.
your cause if you have nothing of value to offer men that isn't just pain and suffering, which, like, don't get me wrong, that is necessary, and it's probably necessary for a lot more people than they
Yeah, it's
think.
toxic masculinity.
But yeah, well, but like if you can't tell them why they're doing all that and like what the benefit of that is, then you're not going to get anybody coming in. And once again, this is going back to why Andrew Tate was popular. It's like, hey, look, if you get money and you're all, you traffic people, then look, you can live the good life just like me. But, the conservatives have to shout them down rather than realize like, oh, maybe we should give men something to
Yeah.
aspire to that is
yeah.
suffering.
I think, and like I think there's a point, like I don't watch porn. I think porn's bad, or like don't do that. Like even the video game thing. Like I play video games a lot, but I also work out 6 days a week and fucking
Exactly.
play sports. Like if you're just gaming all the time, like that you probably as a man shouldn't do that.
Right.
But like you gotta like fucking separate that shit. Like do a bunch of stuff. Be active. Be physical too. And I play video games at nighttime all the fucking time. I'm gonna play PUBG tonight. Like it's
Relevant this week.
Oh yeah,
this
dude,
guy.
this blew up.
Well, Sam, what are you watching?
I Googled it.
Wait,
Like,
what?
I
You
don't
didn't see
you didn't
this? This
see
guy's
this?
morning routine.
I
It's
don't
cut with
believe
other
this, by
stuff.
the way. Like I don't
I
believe
mean,
he
it's
does every
probably
day.
fake. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. And listen, I get up at
He's got, like,
4:30 every
sparkling
day.
water.
Nobody's doing this.
Dude.
And look at them half-ass
Wait,
push-ups.
just wait till it gets to the pool. Hang on, watch this. Watch when he jumps. And then change. Did you see that?
What?
It's at
What?
7:36, and then he jumps, and then it.
That's funny.
What? How does that work?
It's because he floated for 4 minutes.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, this is it.
I don't
It's
know
the
why, but
craziest
this
thing.
I there was so many memes about this that when I first started seeing the memes, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? Then I saw the video and then everything clicked. And I was like, God
Okay.
damn, dude, if you miss one video that goes viral on Twitter, you will not understand memes for a week.
It goes so
So
bad.
Yeah, that
Crazy.
is true.
Like
Well,
you
know
see something and it's meta, but you don't know.
what? Mhm.
Yeah.
PUBG leads to degeneracy.
I haven't won in like a week.
True.
It's rough. Also, Jordan, good point. What are we doing to free Cain Velasquez? He killed a pedophile, and we're all like, why is he in jail?
I don't know
Wait,
who that is.
really? Yeah.
Cain
I mean,
Velasquez was
Wasn't it
heavyweight.
they kidnapped his daughter, I believe? Or
Yes.
something like that? Or
I
molested
believe
his
so.
daughter?
Yeah. And
Okay,
then he
well, that guy.
shot him dead.
listen, I threw this up on Facebook and on Twitter that like after seeing my daughter at 20 weeks, I'm like, yeah, that's a life. Like, I think you're sick. So,
Yeah, of course.
in a couple years, I kind of understand this kind of stuff, why people are so like fervent on the death penalty, which I'm not quite there yet. But like, if something did happen to my daughter, I'd be like,
Oh, I'm so for pro killing pedos. Who gives a fuck?
yeah, I mean, in situations like
Not
that,
just-
it's like,
not
okay,
just
I'm
on
not
YouTube.
I'm not rushing
I
to
agree,
your
but-
I'm not rushing to your defense in that respect. You know what I mean? Like those aren't people that are gonna be like, no, we should really hold the line for them. Like, oh
Yeah.
well.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't know about this. That's terrible. That guy deserves to be free.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Pluchet, right? He fucking capped that dude,
Right.
and he got away with it pretty much. He didn't like
Yeah.
do time, right?
There was a woman in France who didn't who did they might sometimes give them a couple years, but yeah.
That's too many.
Gary
There-
Cloutier's son, who got molested, has been like on Twitter for a little while now.
His daughter's on Twitter too. She always does like his anniversary was the other day of him popping that dude, and she was like,
this is pretty sick. But there was a Louisiana teacher that gave students cupcakes that was filled with semen.
"Oh my god,
Oh.
kill that!" I mean, or not? Well, I can't
Yeah.
unalive that guy
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft,
Yeah.
God.
I was like, yeah, I think that should be like
I mean, that guy
after
goes to jail for
after
that.
a fair trial, there should be maybe a public hanging of some kind because like shit
yeah,
like
you're
that needs to
yeah.
go away.
I heard somebody say this expression the other day. They said you're dancing on air. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, got it. I was like, what?
Yeah, I think it was Dark Enlightenment on Pete Keenan's show. He's like, yeah, you do this and you're dancing on air. I'm like,
I like that.
yeah, that's
They
pretty
should
funny.
bring back public. You know,
What,
There's
what,
a bit,
public
like, I
salt
don't
shakers?
know.
Is that what
Yep.
you're saying?
yeah.
there's like a bit of like because the mob goes fucking crazy. Like the mob is like almost scared in the state sometimes because the mob will just fucking drag you out of town and fucking hang you.
Right.
And like when public hangings like were a thing, dude, if something went wrong in town, they were like, hang that guy, and it might not even kind of do anything.
They
and they
still do
drag
that
his
in
ass-
parts of Africa now. They say burn him. They'll
Yeah.
a common in many parts of Africa. It's a very large place, so it's different. But in a lot of places, they'll like lynching. I know people say lynching is like a racial thing. It's not. It's more like
Yeah.
or at least the original definition was more about like mob justice. But like they lynch people in Africa today. If somebody does something wrong, a mob will gather and say burn him, and they'll put a tire over the person and light
Oh,
them
I've
on
seen that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's multiple
Yeah, I
countries
mean,
that does this around like central-ish Africa.
To Typo's point, if you think about someone like I always remember this story just because I read so much into it. A mattress girl who accused her supposed forced sexual copulation her, and it was all proven to be false. That dude, like his
Yeah.
entire life got ruined. Now, if you had public, shake weights, let's say, then that guy would have been dancing on air, so to speak. But then you find out a couple years later that she completely faked everything, and you just
Yeah.
When I meant public shake weights, I didn't mean like no trial. I meant like go
Shake
through a trial, and then if he's
Yeah.
found guilty, like
after a fair trial.
public shake
We're
weight
not
him.
pro lynching here, by the way. Mob
Yeah.
justice is bad for those reasons, but yeah.
Because like I
Yeah.
think that also makes other people go, well, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to end up that way. It's like
I'm
it's like a
only-
deterrent.
I'm only against mob justice because 99% of the time the mob's against me. So
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Although
exactly.
Leo Frank caught some mob justice, if you know what I'm saying.
that's true.
Frank, okay,
I think they get it right most of the time,
I
but
know that is.
no,
Yeah, I do.
Mary Fagan.
Leo Frank he's the reason the ADL exists. So he was a Jew who murdered and raped a Catholic girl.
Frankists.
Yeah.
Catholic
He
girl.
murdered and assaulted a Catholic girl, and then tried to blame it on a black retarded janitor. And he went to the KKK, and he's like, "This guy did that," and they went, "Nah, it was you," and they fucking public shake weighted
Yeah.
him.
Public shake.
They pulled him out of the
KKK.
jail. The
Yeah.
KKK was like, "Nah, the black guy did not do it.
Yeah,
we're
they
not
believe-
going to hurt him."
Wow.
Yeah,
Imagine seeing a bunch of dudes in hoods looking at a black dude being like,
nah.
nah, this
Speaking of
one's
this-
fun.
The KKK in like the 1910s, 20s, when this was around, they were anti-black, anti-Jewish, anti-Catholic.
Yeah, I know.
All three of the groups that were involved in this. The victim is Irish Catholic,
Yep.
the perpetrator is Jewish, and the person it was blamed on was black.
Mhm.
And the KKK cared, and they didn't think the black guy did it. And I assume they were probably right.
What?
Yeah. So
Tyler
the
Scott-
ADL was formed off of like defending this guy, even though they're defending
I
a
can't
PDF file.
I can't remember
murderer.
his name, but Tyler, it starts with a J. He's
Yonke?
in Twitter. Like
Oh
who
yeah,
he is,
Tyler
Adam.
Yonke.
Yes, Yonke. Okay. He
Oh,
was on
Tyler.
Pete's
Tyler's the man. I
show.
love Tyler.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was on Pete's show, did a 3-part episode about the trial, and he's the lawyer, so he was like breaking down like
Well, Tyler's the lawyer, yeah.
Oh.
topic, and it was actually really good. And I mean, at least from everything we saw, or like everything they explained, it was like clearly Leo Frank that did it.
Well, what do they say? Every single time.
Every time. Check his early life.
Yeah,
Under
dude,
the finger.
it really is like an every single time thing. I was talking to my bass player about this, and so Friday night I got really smashed when we played with Lacey Sturm, and someone wanted us to get a picture with a squid like this one, right? Okay, so do you know why I got this squid? Because right after October 7th, Greta Thunberg had one of them, and they said it was an anti-Semitic
yeah.
squid. So I rushed to buy one, and they wanted us to take a picture with the squid Friday night, and apparently I was way too drunk, and I said, "Oh, at least it's not a Jew or something like that," in front of everybody.
Nice.
And like I'm like piecing this night together because I don't remember anything. And my wife told me, I'm like, oh, okay. So my bass player and I were talking Saturday night. And he's like, oh, you should really hate the Muslims. And I'm like, like, I don't have to love them, but like when you start digging a little bit more, you find out that like
it ain't the Qataris, I'll tell you that.
It ain't the
Qataris.
Yeah, definitely ain't the Qataris. And it's yeah, I think the Muslim hate is meant to dissuade you from a certain kind of, not saying we should hate any other people, but like there's a certain group who's definitely a lot more responsible for issues than the Qataris, let's say.
I thought the blaming Qatari thing was a meme. Is it not?
Oh my God, Sam. Jesus Christ.
There is some legitimacy to it, like very little, but it's not like how they make it out to be.
So they basically, it was all because Ian Carroll, they said Ian Carroll was allegedly taking money from the Qataris because he would never speak out about Qatar or China. And, Ian does a lot of work about Israel. And yeah, so they started blaming him, saying that he was taking Qatari money. So Pete went hard with it. I loved it.
Well, it was actually perfect timing by Tucker Carlson because it was like in the zeitgeist, like all this Qatari money, and then Tucker drops. He was like at the foreign minister from Qatar. He had an interview with him, and he dropped, and everyone, like all the I don't know, the Zionists, whatever you call those guys, and they were all like, yeah, those guys were all like, see, this proves the Qatari influence in American politics.
It's like, you guys can't be serious, man. Like people will go out of their way to ignore that specific one. Like, obviously it's like, it's normalized for us at this point. We talk about it like every single show, but like for other people, when you start bringing this up to them, they look at you like you got six heads, but it's like, no, you realize like this is the country we give the most money to. And they're the only one that brag about rigging our elections, and nobody seems to care.
Yeah, publicly.
And dual citizenships in Congress.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that, and to be clear, I don't know. There's probably other dual citizens from other countries. I don't think you should be allowed to be in Congress if you're a dual citizen. That's crazy. With any country, not just Israel. It doesn't make any sense. If fuck off.
You could be a dual citizen in the military and have a secret clearance, a top secret clearance.
Oh,
I know that.
That's wild.
I know that for a fact because I gave people secret clearances. And the only thing they had to sign was saying that if it became a dispute between our nation and their nation, they have to pledge allegiance to America at all cost.
Speaking of that, a few Chinese American soldiers just got busted selling secrets to China.
Yeah. Well, what's really funny about that is because we would get talks. Just for context, I was an intelligence analyst in the Marine Corps. So they'd give us talks about like, leaking information to the foreigners, right? And so the the problem in the military was the Chinese. And number two, everyone knows who that is. But there would be like, people would be like, so how are we supposed to like know who? And like, were there signs? And it's like, yeah, there's fucking signs, dude. They just can't fucking say it.
Well, yeah, but that's like funny. You would think that like, hey, this person was born in another country. They can't serve in our military. Like, why wouldn't that just be like, for starters?
Dude, like 30%, I would probably tell you, like, there's a lot more non-citizens that join, at least the Marine Corps. I don't know about other branches, but there is a lot. They are not citizens, Canadian citizens, a lot of Latin America, but
I trust the Latin American
from Asia too, all over Asia, and they're not citizens, and they were born in another country. They might come here when they're young, or literally, there's a guy that was like, I came here legally and joined the Marine Corps. I was like, how is that even possible? How is that possible that they let you do that?
And you
they
get
do it all the time.
citizenship when you join. It was
Yeah.
probably 8 or 9% of my boot camp graduating class got citizenship, and the majority of them were Latin American. And then
Yeah.
there was
They
like
take
a
this-
Russian or a Bulgarian or something, and
Did
then
they,
like an Asian
they
guy.
take this training back home when they're done to like go fuck up gang shit?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
and that's not just foreign ones. That's Americans as well. Like
That's gang shit too.
yeah.
Here in America.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like American gang members do that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy. But I mean, I literally met a guy who like told me, he's like, I still have massive connections. Like the whole reason I'm here is because my family told me I had to serve the cartel. I was like, dude, you should not tell me that. You should not go around telling people that. You're a good dude, but like I don't know what shit you're into, but you should not be telling anybody that ever again. It was crazy. And I didn't believe him at first. I thought it was a joke. Then I went to his house on base, and there was stuff there that I was like, oh my God, this guy's
Just
not lying.
decapitated heads.
No, not like that. It was crazy, dude.
That's
It's
scary.
crazy. Like, but that it's legitimate. Like I mean, we got talked about it all the time in the Marine Corps. And they're like, keep an eye out, and it was like, okay, well, it's not gonna be the white dude from Kentucky. I'll tell you that. I just know it's not that guy.
Yeah, like I said, why wouldn't you just say like, okay, if you were born in another country, you can't have a intelligence clearance, either
Yeah,
that or you just can't serve in the
pretty
military.
fair.
Period. Like that seems
Well, we need to hit
simple.
numbers. So
Well,
they
one,
gotta
I would
let them
say,
serve in the military, but maybe a clearance is different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like no top secret clearance if you're from another country. It doesn't matter
Well,
what one.
I will say top secret is a much more extensive investigation. So like I don't know the process exactly for that, but they probably have refused.
But like
people
the
based on
clearances,
should be a
you
flat
could have
ban.
gave.
Well, secret clearance is like
Secret
so
clearance
you,
isn't a big
you
deal.
have
I
to
have
have
one.
you
I have
have to have that. Everyone in the
Oh.
military is supposed to have the
Okay.
basic secret, which is just information. So whatever the information that the military deems that you, whatever mission or operation you're doing, if they feel like you need this information for this mission, they will provide it for you because it's all on a need to know basis. So like even if you do have a secret clearance, doesn't mean you have access to all secret information. You just have access to what they deem that you need to know for whatever mission or operation that you're doing.
Hmm.
Damn.
But yeah, it's crazy that we have all these. I think it shocked me, dude, because as a white dude, we were not the majority at my boot camp. Like it was mainly Latin Americans. It was crazy.
I was. Oh, but you're
I
West
went to
Coast?
I went to San Diego.
Okay, yeah. No, it was mostly the majority white guys. A lot of Latin Americans, a lot of black guys, obviously, and a few Asians, but probably less Asians also than you.
Yeah, I had a lot of Asians. It was like Hispanic, white guys, probably mixed between Asian or black guys as the next biggest ethnicity. I don't remember.
That's
exactly,
wild. No,
but
ours
it
was mostly white and then probably Hispanic or black guys, but that's wild.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, I didn't think it would be like that, but I guess times have changed and they got to fill numbers.
The NYPD was like that too, where if you weren't in Staten Island like me, it was like mainly white. You go to like Brooklyn or the Bronx, it was just like fucking so many Hispanics and black dudes. They were not.
That makes sense.
I gotta go, boys.
Cool. Let's wrap her up. I'm gonna have Dave DeCamp on my show this week, 5:30.
Man.
Yeah, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. We're probably gonna be talking about some foreign policy stuff, maybe some of that leaked text message stuff. And then if you become a member on my channel, you could see a Common Crown's performance from Saturday night at the Castle Pub. And we're not going to be playing again until April 19th. So yeah, that's a Common Crown and Liberty and Health. And obviously, if you are watching on this channel right here, 5 till midnight, please make sure you subscribe and go check us out on Rumble as well.
Yeah. Follow me at Adam Nutter on X, the Everything app. And like Kyle said, follow us on Rumble and YouTube and our audio. Also, if you guys leave us like a review, that'd be sick on the audio platforms. And subscribe. Thanks.
Follow me on MySpace.
Me and Luke are dropping an episode tomorrow, Biting the Bullet, on all podcatchers, and you can find me on Twitter at The Real Typo.
Cool. Kyle, play us out.
I'm not ending it. We're going to stay